Night Nneka was born. Rain fell like the sky was crying. The village sacred tree dead for 20 years suddenly grew fresh green leaves. But instead of celebrating, the villagers screamed because the baby's shoulder was a strange mark, glowing like fire. From that night, they called her curse, not knowing she was the only blessing their village had left. The night Nneka was born, no baby cried louder than her. Thunder shook the village. Rain fell as if the sky was angry. The old sacred tree in the village square, the same tree that had been dead for 21 years, suddenly brought out fresh green leaves. But nobody celebrated. Because when the midwife claimed the new baby, he saw a strange mark on the child's left shoulder. It looked like a small white moon shining on her screen. The midwife screamed. The baby's grandmother fell to the ground. And before morning, the whole village had heard the news. A cursed child had been born. That was what they called her, a cursed child. But 20 years later, when the rivers dried, the farms dead, children started falling sick, and the village chief's only son began to vomit blood. The same people who spat on Nneka's shadow came back to kneel at her feet, because the girl they called curse was not their curse, but was the only blessing they had left. In the village of Umudike, people feared signs. If a bird cried at midnight, they said death was coming. If a woman gave birth during eclipse, they said the child belonged to the spirits. If a child was born with a strange mark, the elders would gather quickly. That was how Nneka trouble started. Her mother, Adaura, had suffered for many years before she became pregnant. She had married her husband Okori for 9 years with no child. People mocked her in the markets. Fine woman with empty womb. Her husband's house is quite like an abandoned shrine. Maybe she offends the god. Adaura cried many nights, but Okori loved her. He never took another wife, even when his mother begged him. One night, Adaura had a dream. She saw an old woman sitting beside the village river. The woman wore white wrapper and her hair was as white as cotton. The old woman said, "Your tears, the place where tears are counted. You will have a child, but protect her, because the blind will call her evil." Adaura woke up sweating. 3 months later, she became pregnant. The pregnancy was not normal. Sometimes when Adaura slept, people said they saw a soft light around her room. Sometimes the baby would not kick for days. Then suddenly, the baby would kick so hard Adaura would shout. On the day she gave birth, the rain started before evening. By midnight, the whole village was shaking. Okori ran to call the midwife, Mama Urena. When Nneka came out, her eyes were open. Mama Urena froze. "A new baby with open eyes," she whispered. Then she saw the mark on the baby's shoulder, a white moon-shaped mark. She moved back and shouted, "Chineke, this one is not ordinary." Adaura, weak and tired, stretched her hand. "Give me my child." But Mama Urena hesitated. Okori rushed inside. "What happened?" The midwife pointed at the baby. "Look at her shoulder." Okori looked. The mark was shining faintly. For a moment, fear entered his heart. Then the baby turned her eyes towards him. Okori's fear melted. He carried her. "She is my daughter," he said. "Her name is Nneka. Mother is supreme." But by morning, the story had changed. People were saying Adaura gave birth to a spirit child. Some said the baby did not cry. Some said she laughed like an old woman. Some said thunder mentioned her name. By afternoon, the chief priest, Dibia Amado, came to Okori's compound with 3 elders. Dibia Amado was feared in Umudike. He was tall and thin, with red beads around his neck. His eyes were always half closed, as if he was seeing something other people could not see. He looked at the baby and frowned. "This child carries a dangerous sign," he said. Okori stood in front of his wife. "She is only a baby." Dibia ignored him. "If you keep her in this village, trouble may come." Adaura began to cry. "What do you want us to do?" The oldest elder cleared his throat. "In the old days, a child like this would be taken to the evil forest." Okori's face changed. "Nobody will touch my child." Dibia smiled slowly. "Then, whatever happens, remember we warned you." That night, Adaura held her baby close. "Don't fear, my child," she whispered. "Even if the whole world rejects you, your mother will never reject you." But Adaura did not know that her time was short. 7 days after Nneka's birth, Adaura became weak. No sickness, no wound, no fever. She just started fading. Okori carried her to herbalist. He begged the chief priest. He sold goats, yams, wrappers, everything. Nothing worked. On the 10th day, Adaura called him close. "Okori," she whispered, "promise me you will protect her." Tears filled his eyes. "Don't talk like this. Promise me." "I promise." Adaura looked at the baby sleeping beside her. "She is not cursed," she said. "She is light. But people who live in darkness hate light." Before sunrise, Adaura died. That was when the village made up their mind. They said Nneka killed her mother. Nneka grew up without knowing peace. When she started working, mothers pulled their children away from her. When she entered the market, women covered their goods. When she fetched water from the stream, girls would leave their pots and run. She has come. Don't let her shadow touch you. She killed her mother. She will kill more people. Nneka did not understand at first. She would come home and ask her father, Papa, why did he hit me? Okore would smile, even when his heart was bleeding. People fear what they don't understand. Am I bad? No, my daughter. You are the best thing your mother left for me. Okore raised Nneka with love. He taught her how to farm, how to cook, how to greet elders, how to stay quiet when fools wanted arguments. But love from one person could not stop the whole village from being wicked. At age 9, Nneka went to the village school for the first time. The teacher, Master Eze, did not want her there, but Okore begged him. She is a child, let her learn. The first day, Nneka sat alone. No child wanted to sit near her. During break time, one boy named Obina threw sand at her. My mother said you are a witch. Nneka wiped her eyes. I am not a witch. Obina laughed. Then why did your mother die after giving birth to you? The other children laughed. Nneka stood up and ran home. That evening, Okore went to Obina's father. Warn your son. Obina's father laughed in his face. Warn my son? You should warn your cousin's daughter not to bring bad luck near people's children. Okore clenched his fists but walked away. That night, he found Nneka sitting behind the house. She was crying quietly. Papa, maybe I should not go to school again. Okore sat beside her. My child, when people want to bury your lights, they first try to make you hate yourself. Don't help them. From that day, Nneka became quiet. She stopped expecting kindness, but something strange followed her everywhere. When she planted seed, they grew faster. When she touched sick animals, some recovered. When she sang near dry plants, they became fresh again. Okore noticed it, but he told her to hide it. Never show people what you can do, he warned. They will not understand. But secrets do not stay buried forever. One dry season, the village stream became low. Women had to wake early to fetch water before it turned muddy. One morning, Nneka went to the stream. She found a little boy crying. His clay pots had broken. The water was pouring away. The boy was the son of one woman who hated Nneka badly. Nneka felt pity. She touched the broken pot and whispered, Don't cry. The cracked pots joined together. The boy stopped crying. His eyes became wide. You fixed it. Nneka quickly said, No, maybe it was not broken well. But the boy ran home and told his mother. By evening, the whole village was shouting again. She uses strange powers. She is growing stronger. She will destroy us. Dibia Madu called a meeting under the moonlight. Villagers gathered at the square. Nneka stood beside her father shaking. Ndibia pointed at her. This girl is no ordinary child. I warned you people when she was born. Now you see it with your eyes. Okore shouted. She helped the child. Dibia turned to him. How evil starts? It first pretended to help. Some villagers nodded. One angry woman shouted, Send her away. Another shouted, Let her go to the evil forest. Okore pulled Nneka behind him. Nobody who touches my daughter will meet me first. The chief, Ugwe Amobi, raised his hand. He was not a wicked man, but he feared losing power. He listened too much to Dibia. Okore, the chief, said, For now, keep your daughter away from the public space. If another strange thing happens, we will take action. Okore heard Nneka and walked home. But Nneka heard the whisper behind her. Cursed child, evil child, spirit wife. That night, she looked at her father and asked, Papa, why did God create me like this? Okore had no answer. What nobody knew was that Ndibia had been waiting for this day. He was not afraid of Nneka because she was evil. He was afraid because she was powerful. Many years before Nneka was born, Umudike had a covenant with the river spirit, Unwanyimiri. The river protected the village. The farms were fertile. Women gave birth safe. Hunters returned with meat. But every 21 years, the village had to bring one chosen child to the sacred river for blessing. Not sacrifice, blessing. The child would become the carrier of the village fortune. As long as the child lived in peace, the village would prosper. But greed entered the heart of Ndibia. He wanted to control the village blessing for himself. So when Nneka was born with the moon mark, he knew immediately she was the chosen one. If the village loved her, the blessing would remain with the people. If the village rejected her, the blessing would weaken. And if Nneka died, Ndibia believed he could steal what was inside her. That was why he called her curse from birth. He was poisoning people's mind, but he needed time. He needed her to grow stronger, then he would strike. When Nneka turned 16, her beauty became hard to hide. She had dark skin that shone like wet earth after rain. Her eyes were calm but deep. She rarely spoke. But when she did, people listened without knowing why. Some young men secretly admired her, but none had the courage to come close except one. His name was Kalu. Kalu was the chief's nephew, proud, handsome, and careless with women's hearts. He started following Nneka to the farm road. At first, Nneka ignored him. One evening, he blocked her path. Nneka, wait. She held her basket tight. What do you mean? I want to talk. People will see you with me. Let them see. She looked at him. Your people call me curse. I don't care what they say. Nneka laughed bitterly. You care. You just don't know it yet. Kalu kept coming. He brought palm fruits. He brought dried fish. He helped Okore repair his fence. Slowly, Nneka started trusting him. For the first time in her life, someone outside her father's house looked at her like she was human. One night, Kalu told her, I will marry you. Nneka stepped back. Don't joke with me. I am serious. Your family will never agree. I will fight them. Nneka wanted to believe him, but love can make even a wounded heart foolish. Soon, the village found out. The chief was furious. My nephew, marry that cursed girl? Never. Ndibia smiled when he heard it. This was the chance he needed. He called Kalu privately. You are playing with fire. Kalu frowned. She is not evil. Ndibia leaned closer. Do you know why her mother died? Do you know why people fall sick when they offend her? That girl will not love you. She will use you. Kalu tried to act strong, but fear entered him. Ndibia saw it, so he lied again. If you marry her, your bloodline will end. That night, Kalu did not visit Nneka. The next day, he avoided her. 3 days later, Nneka saw him laughing with another girl at the market. Her chest tightened. She saw him. Kalu. He looked uncomfortable. Nneka, not here. Not here, she repeated. You used to follow me on the road. Now, not here. People began to watch. Kalu lowered his voice. I cannot continue this. Why? My family will not accept it. Or you are afraid. He became angry because she had spoken the truth. You know what? Maybe they are right. Maybe you are caused. The market went silent. Nneka stared at him like he had slapped her. Kalu continued. No normal girl lives like you. No normal girl has that mark. Please leave me alone. People started murmuring. Nneka did not cry. She turned and walked away. But as she passed the fruit seller, every ripe fruit on the table turned black. The market screamed, Ewo! She has caused the market. Nneka ran home. That evening, the elders gathered again. This time, even Okore could not stop them. They ordered Nneka to leave the village for 7 market days. She must not go to the abandoned hut near the village forest. Nneka and Dibia said, let us see if peace returns. Okore refused. If she goes, I go with her. But that night, while Okore slept, Nneka packed a small bag. She did not want her father to suffer again because of her. She touched his feet and whispered, Forgive me, Papa. Then she left. The abandoned hut stood near the village forest, where people said spirits walked at night. Nneka stayed there alone. The first night, she heard voices outside. Nneka. She heard a stick. Who is there? No answer. Then she heard the baby crying. She opened the door and saw nothing. The second night, an old woman appeared near the hut. She looked weak and hungry. My child, the woman said, do you have food? Nneka had roasted yam left. She remembered how people treated her, but she still gave the old woman half. The woman ate slowly. Why did they send you here? They said I am cursed. The old woman looked at her shoulder. And do you believe them? Nneka looked down. Sometimes. The old woman shook her head. A goat can live among dogs for many years, but it will never bark. What they call you does not change what you are. Nneka looked at her. Who are you? The woman smiled. Someone who has been waiting for you. Before Nneka could ask more, the old woman vanished. Nneka screamed and fell back. That same night, she dreamt of the river. The white-haired woman from her mother's dream stood inside the water. Nneka, she said, the village rejected you, and now their blessing is leaving. But the real enemy sits among them wearing beads. Nneka woke up, breathing fast. The real enemy sits among them wearing beads. Dibiamadu. On the third day, after Nneka left, strange things began to happen in Umudike. First, the village stream turned muddy. Then goats started dying. Then pregnant women began to bleed. Then the chief's son, Chidi, collapsed during wrestling practice. By sunset, Chidi was vomiting blood. The chief called Dibiamadu. "Save my son." Dibiamadu pretended to consult the spirits. He threw cowries. He shook the rattles. He chanted. Then he said, "The cursed girl has attacked your son from the forest." The chief shouted, "Bring her back." But one old woman, Mama Urena, the midwife, finally spoke up. She had carried the guilt for 16 years. "No," she said. Everyone turned. Ndibia glared at her. "Woman, keep quiet." But Mama Urena shook her head. "I have kept quiet for too long. That child was not evil when she was born." The chief frowned. "What are you saying?" Mama Urena swallowed. "The night she was born, the sacred tree came alive. I saw it. That was not a curse. That was a blessing." The villagers started murmuring. Ndibia shouted, "Old age has confused you." Mama Urena pointed at him. "No, fear confused me. You were the one who told us to call her cursed. You were the one who planted fear." Ndibia's face changed. At that moment, a young boy ran into the square. The farms are burning." People rushed out. Far away, smoke rose from the village farms, but there was no fire. The crops were dying and turning black by themselves. For the first time, fear turned against Ndibia. One man asked, "If Nneka is cursed, why did things get worse after she left?" Nobody answered. Okore woke up and found Nneka gone. He searched everywhere. When he heard she had gone to the abandoned hut, he took his walking stick and went after her. But Ndibia saw a chance. If Okore reached Nneka, he might bring her back before the priest was ready. So, Ndibia sent 2 men to stop him. They met Okore at the forest path. "Old man, go back." Okore held his stick tightly. "Move." One of them pushed him. Okore fell and hit his head on a stone. The men panicked and ran away. By the time Nneka found her father, he was breathing slowly. "Papa." She lifted his head. Okore smiled weakly. "My child, you must not hate yourself." "Papa, please don't leave." "Your mother was right. You are light." Nneka cried. "I don't want to be light. I just want to be your daughter." Okore touched her face. "Go to the river. Find the truth." Then he died in her arms. Okore screamed until birds flew from the trees. That scream reached Umudike. The sacred tree in the village square shook violently. Every leaf fell. The village became silent. Ndibia smiled. Pain had opened Nneka's power. Now, he would try to take it. Nneka buried her father beside her mother. Nobody from the village came. Only Mama Urera came secretly with a small lantern. "My child," she said, crying, "forgive me. I should have protected you." Nneka's face became cold. "Forgiveness will not bring my father back." Mama Urena nodded. "I know, but listen to me. Your mother told me something before she died. She said, if the day ever came when the village turns dark, you should go to the river at midnight." Nneka looked at her. "Why didn't you tell me before?" "I was afraid." Nneka laughed without joy. "Everybody's always afraid, and I am the one who pays for it." That midnight, Nneka went to the river. The water was black and still. She stepped inside. At first, nothing happened. Then the moon mark on her shoulder began to glow. The river opened like a door. Nneka found herself standing in a bright place under the water, but she could breathe. The white-haired woman appeared. "I am Unwanyemiri, guardian of Umudike." Nneka stepped back. "Why me?" "Because before you were born, your mother begged for a child. She promised that if she was blessed, a child would serve truth. You were not sent to suffer. You were sent to protect. Protect the people who hated me. Protect the land. The people must choose what they become." Nneka's eyes filled with tears. "They killed my father." Enemiri nodded. "And the man behind it wants your gift, Ndibia. He broke the old covenant. He has been feeding on the fear of the village. Every insult they gave you strengthened him. Every rejection weakened you." Nneka shook her head. "So what do I do?" "You must return before the full moon. Stand under the sacred tree. Let the truth speak. What if they kill me?" Unwamiri came closer. Then the village would die with its secrets. She touched Nneka's shoulder. The moon mark became warm. "When the time comes, do not fight with anger. Anger will make you easy to steal from. stand in truth. Nneka returned to the river bank before dawn. But someone was watching, Kalu. He followed her. Kalu came out from behind the tree. Nneka, she turned sharply. You followed me? I needed to see the truth. The truth, she laughed. You had the truth in front of you, but you chose fear. Kalu lowered his head. I was wrong. My father is dead. I heard. Did your sorry wake him? Kalu had no answer. Nneka walked away. He followed her. Please, let me help you. She stopped. You want to help now that the village is dying? I deserve that. No, you deserve worse. Kalu's eyes were wet. I was weak. Indibia poisoned my heart. Nneka looked at him. Indibia did not create your fear. He only gave his words. That word entered in Kalu's heart. He knelt down. I will expose him. Nneka stared at him for a long moment. Then she said, if you truly want to help, go back. Watch him. Find out what he plans for the full moon. Kalu nodded. But as he returned to the village, Indibia men called him. Indibia tied Kalu inside the shrine. You followed her to the river, he said. Kalu spat blood. She is not cursed. You are the evil one. Indibia smiled. Good. Love has made you bread. It will also make you useful. He brought out a small calabash filled with black powder. On the full moon, Nneka will come to the sacred tree. She will try to reveal the truth. But if someone she once loved betrayed her again, her heart will break up. Then it will take what is inside. Kalu struggled. I will not betray her. Indibia laughed. You already did once. The second time will be easier. He rubbed black powder on Kalu's forehead. Kalu's eyes changed. By evening, he walked out of the shrine like a man in a dream. The full moon came. By then, Umudike looked like a coarse place. The stream was dry. Children were sick. Food was scarce. People gathered at the sacred tree, afraid and not hungry. Indibia stood before them. Tonight, we end this course. Bring the girl. But before his men could move, Nneka walked into the square by herself. The crowd became silent. She wore a simple white wrapper. Her hair were loose. Her moon mark glowed softly. Some people moved back. Nneka looked at them one by one. For 16 years, you called me curse. You blamed me for my mother's death. You spat when I passed. You warned your children not to touch me. Nobody spoke. My father begged you to see me as a human being. You called him foolish. Now he is dead. Mama Urena began to cry. Nneka pointed at Idibia. The curse of this village is not on my shoulder. It is standing there with red beads. The crowd gasped. Idibia laughed loudly. You see? She has come to accuse the servants of the gods. Nneka faced him. Tell them the old covenant. Idibia's smile faded. What covenant? The chosen child. The river blessing. The truth you buried. People started murmuring. The chief stepped forward. Indibia, is there something we do not know? Indibia raised the staff. Enough. This girl must be cleansed by fire. Suddenly, Kalu walked out from behind the shrine. Nneka's eyes softened. Kalu. He came towards her slowly. Indibia smiled. The trap had started. Kalu stood before Nneka and said loudly, She is lying. The crowd shouted. Nneka froze. Kalu continued. I followed her. I saw her speaking with dark spirits. She wants to destroy us. Nneka's lip trembled. Indibia watched her carefully. Feel it, he whispered. Break. Nneka stared at Kalu. For 1 second, the pain almost swallowed her. Then she remembered the river spirit words. Do not fight with anger. Stand in truth. She looked at Kalu's forehead and saw black powder. Nneka understood. She stepped closer and slapped him hard. The crowd gasped. Kalu fell to the ground. The black powder cleared from his forehead. He coughed and screamed. Indibia used me. The square exploded. Indibia's face twisted. Kalu pointed at me. He tied me to his shrine. He said if I betrayed her again, her heart would break open and he would steal her gift. The chief slowly turned to Indibia. Is this true? Indibia Madu saw that his lies were falling apart. He stopped pretending. He laughed. His laugh was not human. The red beads on his neck began to shake. You fools, he said. You had a blessing and you treated her like death. Now you want mercy. The sky darkened. Wind scattered. The market stalled. Indibia Madu lifted his staff. If I cannot take her gift gently, I will take it by force. Indibia Madu struck the ground with his staff. The earth cracked. Black smoke rose. People screamed and ran. Nneka stood still. The sacred tree behind her was dry and dead. Ndibiamadu stretched his hand towards her. Come, child of the river, give me what they were too blind to honor. Nneka felt something pulling from her chest. She almost fell. Then she heard her father's voice in her memory. You are light. She placed her hand on her moon mark. I am not what they call me. The mark shone brighter. Idibia screamed and pulled harder. Villagers watched from corners, terrified. Mama Urena suddenly stepped forward. She is not cursed, she shouted. One by one, others began to speak. She healed my son's broken pots. She never harmed my children. She gave my mother's food. We lied against her. We rejected her. The more they confessed, the weaker Ndibiamadu became. Nneka turned to the crowd. Do not confess because you are afraid. Confess because it is true. The chief dropped his staff and knelt. My daughter, I failed you. I allowed fear to lead us. The villagers knelt. Even Kalu knelt, crying. I broke your heart because I was a coward. Nneka did not smile. Forgiveness was not easy, but truth was stronger than pain. She raised both hands. The moon became brighter. The sacred tree shook. One green leaf appeared, then another, then hundreds. The roots broke through the ground and wrapped around Madu's neck. He screamed, No, I save you. I feed you fear. A deep voice came from the tree. You failed yourself. The roots pulled him down. His beard scattered. His staff broke. By morning, nothing remained of Madu except his beard and a dry, black mark on the ground. When the sun rose, the stream began to flow again. The farms became green. Children stopped crying from sickness. The chief's son's eyes opened. The village celebrated. But Nneka did not join them. She went to her father's grave and sat there. Kalu came quietly. I know I don't deserve to stand here. Nneka did not answer. I love you. But I love my reputation more. I am sorry. Nneka looked at him. I waited my whole life for someone to choose me without a shame. You came close. Then you became like them. Tears fell from Kalu's eyes. Can you forgive me? One day, maybe. But forgiveness does not mean I must give you my heart again. Kalu nodded slowly. That was his punishment. Not death, not sickness. He had to live knowing he lost the woman who truly loved him. The chief offered Nneka lands, goats, and a place in the palace. She refused the palace. I don't want to sit above people who only loved me when they needed me. The chief bowed his head. What do you want? Nneka looked around the village. I want no child to ever be called cursed again because they were different. I want the evil forest renamed. I want my father's name cleared, and I want Idibia's shrine destroyed. The chief agreed. That same day, the villagers destroyed the shrine. Inside they found hidden things, women's bead, children's hair, farmer's charm, and calabash filled with names of people. Ndibia had been manipulating for years. They also find one old clothes, Adauro's wrapper. Nneka held it and cried for the first time since her father died. Mama Urena held her. My child, your mother knew. She always knew. Years passed. Umudike changed. The abandoned hut near the forest became a healing house. The evil forest became known as the forest of truth. People came from far villages to see the woman with the moon mark. The woman who could touch dry soil and make it live again. But Nneka never allowed them to worship her. I am not a god, she would say. I am only a person you people almost destroyed. One evening, a little girl was born in the village with a strange mark on her forehead. Her mother began to panic. Old fear started moving through the room. But Nneka entered and carried the child. The baby opened her eyes. Nneka smiled. Welcome, child. The mother whispered. Is she cursed? Nneka looked at her. No, she is different. And difference is not evil. Outside, the sacred tree dropped white flowers, even though it was not its season. And from that day, the people of Umudike taught their children one lesson. Never call someone cursed because you do not understand their gift. Because sometimes, the person you reject today may be the only reason you survive tomorrow.